Hello and welcome to another Andy's Chomping at the Bit, brought to you by Big Andy Media, the official sponsor of every Andy's Chomping at the Bit Friday segment. So today I decided I'm going to talk about life. Um, and I encourage you for this episode to listen in its entirety as far as the chomping at the bit part, because it's very easy to take some of the stuff early on out of context, and it's important the context is there because it's a topic that's not always easy to address for people. And actually, I was struggling with what I was going to title it, whether it was going to be life or death, um, as far as the focus and or the title for it. It's really focused a lot on life, and I chose to use the life as the title because it's uh, a positive discussion overall. Uh, so I want to make sure people understand that from the get go here, um, and that's why the whole keeping it in context hearing it in its entirety will help you with that. So anyway, what got me to think about this was, you know, no one has to go too far to find chaotic times. So we had the election, and before the election, I'm going to avoid talking politics during this too, just so you know. It's more the context or the world around and the atmosphere from it. So before the election, everyone was divided, very cutthroat. After the election, still everyone's divided, not quite as cutthroat, I hope. Um, but before the election, I heard people on both sides discussing their worst case scenarios essentially, and what they would do and what they thought would happen, um, what they were afraid of happening, and and I avoided it pretty well as far as that negative what if thinking. Um, but I did let it ease into my mind a little bit on accident a while ago, not today or yesterday. Well, a little bit yesterday. Um, and it got me to really, you know, surprisingly, once I caught myself and pulled out, I realized my value or how I value life has changed drastically. Um, so, as you guys know, I for a while struggled with addiction. But even going back before I struggled with addiction, I I always had the idea or the thought, if things went really bad, that I would be, I almost got excited for it, which is weird to say. Uh, Not for things going bad, but the opportunity to stand up and do whatever it took. Um, the whole concept of fighting for what I believe in or die trying, and a lot of that I feel was because, actually, I know it's because, um, back, like I said, even before addiction, I didn't, I guess I didn't value life as much as I should. I didn't think I understood the value of life quite as much for a long time. Um, so when it's saying something like that, to the bitter end, uh, I saw it as, I didn't mind if I live great, if I die great. It was kind of one of those mentalities. Like I didn't care either way. So I had the mentality of, well, I could go out fighting, for something I believe in. That's the noble way, or that's the honorable way. I didn't understand the part of, well, if you die doing that, you're dead. It doesn't matter. You're already gone. Um, so anyway, that I mean, give you another example within that. High school. I remember it was my senior year, but I was taking junior English because I didn't do the greatest in one semester. year before, so I had to retake that one. And anyway, one of the questions we had, I think we had to write an essay on it, or at least we had to share with class, was because we were reading Tuesdays with Maury, and so the question was, how would you want? I think it was how would you want to die? You know, and I remember putting down my answer or talking about, you know, something like it was something along the lines of fighting. Remember, this is high school me, not me today. Um, Fighting an epic battle or something like that, and I want to say it was, um, yeah, essentially dying in battle, fighting for freedom, and which is a weird thing for a high school kid. And trust me, I had my own fair share of troubles. Um, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people thought I was joking. Sad part was I wasn't joking. I yearned for adventure because I felt that that was the only way I'd find value in life. And well, it turns out that's not the only way you can find value. It turns out simply adventure alone will not fulfill that. um, anyway, let's fast forward a little bit here. Went through addiction, obviously, struggled, and then finally, so September 7th of 2022 was when I finally cleaned up. Not by choice at that point. It wasn't until September 23rd where it became well, actually, September 23rd is when I went into treatment. It was September 14th was the day that I actually made that choice that I didn't want to live that life anymore and that I actually wanted to clean up and I wanted to never go back. I didn't want to stop. I wanted to quit, which is even more permanent. And anyway, so that was the first step as far as me starting to see the value in life. Um, and I worked on myself, and then it was building. But I learned to gain an appreciation. I guess you could say I started liking myself, which was good, very good. Um, you can't expect others to like you if you don't like yourself. You can't expect others to love you if you don't love yourself. So that was a step in the right direction as far as um, you know growth and that desire to keep going to live a productive, healthy life, with meaning. Um, but even as little as a year ago, which a year ago I was, over a year clean. Um, I was doing really well as far as mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, even. So health wise, I was doing great. I was doing well in my recovery. I was in a good environment, very productive as far as working with a group in recovery. Uh, and it was a very valuable moment in my life. So, regardless of where things went later, I'm grateful for that moment, those moments, multiple. Um, and I liked myself even back then. I really did. But and I was content where I was at then. And I'm content where I am today too. And even looking back, I'm proud of where it was at that point. Uh, the thing is, I liked myself as far as I knew the value. As far I knew my value for contributing to those around me, as in with others. I knew my value within a group or um, within my friends and family. Uh, so so that was definitely a good place to be at that point in my life. And at that point in my life, I can comfortably say that I was in good conscience with. Let's see if that's the right way to say it. I knew at that point in my life, if something were to happen, hopefully never would have, but say the worst case disaster happened and I didn't make it through. I knew that. at least I was clean and sober, and I would leave with a good conscience, knowing that I was on the right path, that I'm not dreading and carrying the regrets anymore. Um, and like I said, I was still liked who I was. I still appreciated and valued the opportunity to be alive, clean and sober, and continue to grow in life. Um, but with having that value, as far as with others, those around me, I didn't necessarily go beyond that as far as um, how I liked myself. And so at that point, I would have done just about anything, as far as doing what I could, even to the bitter ends, trying to help. Uh, you, anyone from that group or in general for a cause. So let's fast forward to now. So a year later, those things still hold true as far as the way in which I like myself then. I still like myself in that way today as well. Still content. If something happened, a freak accident, I'd still, know that I'm not leaving regrets on the table. Um, I can't change the past, so I don't regret the past. I've grown from my mistakes. I'm very happy that I have grown from the mistakes I made, because I made a lot, and I'm very fortunate that I didn't get hit harder in life for those mistakes. Um, but anyway, so the other thing though, now though, I like myself in the sense that I like who I am as an individual. So in the past, for instance, I was looking to be around others, um, because that's how I would appreciate life. You know, being around others would make me appreciate life. The difference today, though, is now I already appreciate. I already appreciate my life, and so now I look to share my life more. Um, share it with the world around me, because I already appreciate it. So it's a different mindset, I guess. I'm not searching so I can appreciate. Um, I don't need to have X, Y, and Z in order to appreciate my life. I appreciate, I like who I am, and I'm content with who I am. And so it's no longer that I need another person, or I need others um, to have that liking, to have that appreciation. Um, I already have it. Now it's more, I get to share that, the happiness, the joy, the person I am today with others, the journey I go on. I get to share it with others, the happiness, the joy. Um, it's it's just the next step. I got them, guess, my journey, my growth. And it's not to say that just because I don't, just because I appreciate myself, even as an individual, without the world, or without other particular people in my life, that doesn't mean I don't want other people in my life. I still, even in my recovery, I go to meetings still. And I enjoy going to those meetings, because I get to talk to, some people, a lot that have more clean time, a lot that have less clean time, uh, and sharing stories, and helping each other through that. I still enjoy that. I still see that value, but I also see the value that I have while I'm alone as an independent person as well. Uh, so it gives me a greater appreciation, but it also changes that mentality. And this is going back to that thought I mentioned earlier, where the what ifs and the worst case scenario that I briefly made the mistake of letting trickle into my mind for a bit. um, because it made me realize, well, yes, if something freak happened and I wasn't able to, like say I was walking in the woods and a tree fell and crushed me. Hopefully it never does. Um, but I'm content with um with my life. Like I said, I don't want that to happen. Very important. This is where the context. Keep it in context. Um, the difference though is I'm no longer to in the event of mass chaos. I'm no longer in the part where I will want to uh, heroically battle for X, Y, and Z, um, and die trying. It's not the mindset anymore. You know, like I said, though I'm content with who I am today, and I would, when the time comes, I'll go with good conscience. I don't want to die. I mean, being perfectly honest, um, if it's the only option, which I don't believe that is the case, even in a lot of really bad scenarios. Um, if it's something I can't control, then it's something I can't control. I'm okay in that scenario. But if I don't want to die because I know that alive I have so much more to offer. I know that by staying alive in bad times, and I know this because I've been in bad times. I mean, there's obviously things that could be much worse, um, but by living and getting to share with others the struggle, the pain, um, and the not necessarily physical battle, but the struggle that you were able that to be able to pull from and grow from. Um, I feel that carries a lot more, and I desire to do it to contribute to fight, so to speak, for what I believe in. I feel it's more valuable to do it in a way that's not okay. Let's do this in 10 minutes, and I'm not around anymore. No, no. If it, I'd rather do what it takes to fight for my beliefs in a peaceful manner and in a manner that allows me to be here, not just for others, but for me. So some people can look at it in multiple ways. They can look at it as, sure, some people look at it as cowardice. They're welcome to think that as well. Um, that's that's their option. I literally posted on Sunday extreme thinking, as a reminder to people with all the tense discussions going around. So, but people are welcome to think and make of it what they would like. I just changed the way I value life. I'm not afraid of death still, but I value life a lot more. And there's so much still left. I mean, granted, I don't know how much left. For all I know, I could, go to sleep and not wake up, and that'd be gosh awful for me. I really don't want that. That's not on my list of let's do that. It's but I I appreciate what I have now. I appreciate the life I have, and I will still. There's still scenarios where I would do uh, everything in my power to protect family and friends, or do what I could um, to help those in need. I just feel my value as far as helping those in need is much greater alive than not. So, everyone can make their own decisions, everyone can make their own opinions. That's mine. Um, but while we're on life, and part of this also ties in is the meaning of life. Not Monty Python's Meaning of Life. Great movie, by the way. Um, for if you like British comedy and you're not easily offended. But no, the meaning of life has played a factor into how I value life and in my appreciation and desire for life. So I'm going to throw out a couple of them here that I've heard that I like. A lot of them I like. So a lot of people think that the meaning of life is, to leave the world a better place, and I like that one. And it's very open. It could be. It doesn't necessarily have to be, world peace, which is a good idea. Um, and leaving the world a better place could be simply picking up your trash or recycling or making someone smile. That's you left the world a better place. If you made one person smile, think about that. Just one person. They can create a chain reaction. They're smiling. Now they're in a better mood. They can pass that positive energy along. Um, because you didn't specify how much of a better place or for how long. So that's a good one. Um, Another one I hear a lot is people want to be remembered. And I understand that one. For a while, that was a big one for me. And it's okay to want to be remembered. That's fine. I don't think that's the meaning of life personally. But it's understandable. You want to leave you know, you want to have, you feel that if you're forgotten, you don't have value. I disagree with that, but everyone has the right to believe what they want to believe. And I still think it's a good thought, because you usually want to be remembered for good. So, another one I hear is you want to make a difference. It kind of goes with leave the world a better place. Um, it's very open, making a difference can be the simply, like I said, making someone smile, holding the door for someone. Uh, it's a very open ended one. You set you set the level of which, or you set the focus on that one. I'm gonna really simplify it in my mind. I like all of those, um, but I feel it's much simpler. And this is gonna be a little philosophical, so some of you might like it, some of you might not, but it'll give you something to ponder at the very least. So I feel the meaning of life is the meaning is simply to have the opportunity to feel. Now think about that for a little bit. And there's so just the opportunity to feel, to experience, um, experience love, loss, to feel anger, happiness, sorrow, uh, so much there. You know, experience growth, to be able to learn and grow, to build, to experience memories. Simply, the meaning of life may be to have the opportunity to live. And that may seem overly simple to some people, but think about the time that we have as living human beings on Earth. And in the grand scheme of things, it's a very small amount of time. So having that opportunity, whether it be for 5 years or 100 years, some are lucky to go beyond that. Um, that's a gift in itself. The meaning to be able to enjoy that brief moment in the history of all things is pretty special, and some of us make the most of it. Some of us we might see as not making the most of it, but either way, we get to experience it. So, that I'll leave you guys with that to ponder. That's Andy's chomping at the bit as far as the base of it. Um, I think the changing perspective and putting things in perspective can be a very beneficial thing for for us in troubled times or in chaotic times. When there's a lot of division, when there's a lot of hatred going around, a lot of negativity, sometimes even when that sinks into your head and you pull out from it, it helps put the things that you do have in perspective. It helps put the positives in the forefront. So I'm very grateful to be where I am today. I'm very grateful to be able to share what I just shared with you, along with all the other topics I have talked about, because not everyone has this opportunity. Not everyone takes this opportunity when it is presented. So, um, anyway, like I said, that's Andy's Chomping at the Bit, brought to you by Big Andy Media, the official sponsor of every uh, Andy's Chomping at the Bit Friday episode. So, I want to. Sorry about that. I'm gonna remind you guys that on on Sunday, not this Sunday, the third Sunday. So that's next week. We're gonna have another Singing for a Cause requested live performance, and that'll be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This month we do not have a Spotlight charity. We do have though Spotlight Cause, and that is basically feeding the hungry locally. So local resources, things you can do within your community and area to help make sure that nobody goes hungry for Thanksgiving and the holiday season. So and beyond, preferably. But so, like I said, that'll be first and third Sunday of every month. Tune into that, and I'm sure you'll enjoy at least some of the songs. Got a good mix of cover tunes and originals. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you again on Monday for another Daily Biscuit, as well as on Wednesday. So take care.